feel like I haven't made a video in a long time just doing my face with my Saint makeup. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm not going to do my eyes on this video. I'm just going to apply the main colors. So we're going to start off with Candlelit. And I'm actually going to just take some of the redness away from my lid because as I've matured, I've gotten very red lids, and I think I'm not the only one in that boat. So I just tap it on with my finger. You can use your brush. As you know, Saint offers a lot of different brushes, and they're multi use. Like you can use them for all different things. Like this one's the detail brush. I use this for contour. You could use this right here and tap in and apply like that if you wanted to. It's all a personal preference on how you want to use your brushes. I like using my finger because I feel like I have a little more control on how much I'm applying. So, okay. That's all I did for my lids. That's all I'm doing. Very simple. And my main color is Sandy right now because I'm a little pale. If I use tanner, I will use hazel. I'll take hazel and sandy and sometimes mix them. So it all depends. But I want to show you what I'm going to do about how I'm going to apply it. So I have a little bit on my brush. I use the blush bronzer brush and I use the smaller end. So I just start tapping, and I always start in this area with the most product. Less product down on the chin. So I really don't want a lot of makeup from here down, just because you end up having a disconnect with your neck and chest unless you put makeup all on your neck, and I don't. So I like it to look very natural fading down. So, and I feel like I need more coverage here anyways. That's where I have a little bit more redness, a little bit more irritation maybe. And as you notice, I am taking my main color, which is Sandy, and using that under my eye as a concealer. Okay, I'm just going to do one side first, just so you can see the difference. And as you can tell, I'm tapping. I use a very fast motion because I've been doing this forever, but I just tap, 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 and I keep tapping. Now your makeup may look not the color you think it's going to when you first apply it. It may be very yellow, and you might think, oh goodness, this is not the right color for me. And when I tap in, I'm literally barely putting on any product. That's why I keep tapping. You have to let it sit for a couple minutes. Half the time I'll do my makeup and I'm like, oh, this just does not look good. But after about 15 minutes and it soaks in, it adjusts to your skin color, it ends up just looking fabulous and natural. So brush it down here. But as you can tell, just by me bringing in a little bit of that darker color there, which is the Sandy, and I'll bring it right into the corner too. And I go right across. You can see how using your regular color, which is your foundation color, under your eye is a better way to do it versus taking a light concealer. Actually, maybe I'll just do that for you guys so you can see, and then putting that all here. So say you put a lighter concealer and then all your main color here, you just end up getting more of a raccoon eye. And what I'll do over here, just to help with a little bit more coverage where I might be a little dark, I take my lighter color, which right now is Candlelit, and I just put that right there. So basically I'm not using a lot of product, and that's what's key. You don't want to use a lot of product. And then if I feel like I need a little bit of lift here, I'll take that lighter color. Trying to look in the phone and do this at the same time is hard. So I'll just tap, and then I just let it soak in. And you can take that lighter color and go right here. Sometimes we get a little bit more red there. Tap it in. Don't want to use a lot. You use too much, you will get creasing. So that is key. So the old way we used to apply our makeup would be like take my main color here, like this, and I wouldn't go under the bag area. And the other thing with cream makeup, it's so forgiving. So if I make a mistake, I can just feather it out. Or I can take a perfector sponge, a makeup sponge, dampen it, and tap, 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 and that will take some of it off if I make a mistake. And that's what I love, because the other kind of makeup, regular foundations and stuff like that, it has alcohol in it. So once it's on, it's on. A little bit more here. Trying to look in my mirror behind me. Okay, so now I'm going to take my lighter color, the old way, and I would go all the way like that. There, and I would just tap it all in like that. I just feel, if you look, this just looks a little bit smoother canvas, where this one just looks like I got foundation here and then a big white eye. The transition is just more natural here, where you just put a little bit of the brightener there versus all over. Now, because I don't want this look, I'm actually gonna take, hold on, my Perfector sponge. It's not damp and it should be, so I'm just gonna, so I don't have to leave, I'm gonna just wet it down with some setting spray. And I'm gonna try to get rid of some of that, because I don't want all that. Okay, and now I will redo it the way I want it. So you can also, because you see me tapping in with different colors with this, you can take a Kleenex and just wipe in between. So now I'm just going in with Sandy where I want it, which is under the eye. Okay. Again, going for a very minimal coverage day. Easy, easy. Now I'll take a little bit of that candlelit and just go right there. So I just like that brighter eye right in the corner. It just makes you look a little bit more awake. And if you had done your eye makeup already, you can go like this, take that concealer and swipe up, because then it lifts your eyeshadow up. So easy. And then take whatever leftover where you have some redness, which I am getting a lot right there because of the winter. I am very irritated right now. And feather, feather out, feather into your hairline. Very important, because you don't want a mask. You don't want to look like you have a mask on. Okay, next, I'm going to show you how I contour. I don't always contour. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do that every day. It's just sometimes I want to, sometimes I don't. But this is the brush I use. You can use this end. You can use your finger. You can do it however you want. This is just how I do it. And I tap into it. And this is just giving me a little bit of dimension, because when I put on my main color, it makes me look a little flat. So now having this make me not look as flat looking. It'll give my face more dimension. Now, feather that contour into your hairline. Also, contour is generally a cooler color, which gives you those shadows, that gives you that cheekbone, like that. So you put the contour where you feel like you need a shadow, and everybody's face is different on how you apply it, and you don't need a lot. So don't over apply a contour. I also feel you have to figure out where on your cheek you want to apply it to, because you don't want to go too low, and I'm having a hard time seeing. Now see how I actually applied probably too much right there? I can take this end and I can just wipe some of that away, which is nice. See, this side is blended really nicely up, and this one, let's see what we can do. And make sure you get it into that hairline. It's about, I don't bring it, it's about giving that curve so you get that lift. Don't bring the contour beyond the outside of your lid, because it's going to drop, you know, will drop your face. Okay. Okay. Now with bronzer, bronzer gives you more warmth. So everybody's like, what's the difference between contour and bronzer? Contour is a cooler color, adds a little bit of dimension to my face. I could even help chisel out my chin with the leftover and go like that. And that just gives you a little bit more of a chiseled chin. But you have to make sure you blend that, because otherwise it's going to look very silly. And again, I don't do that all the time. So now bronzer is actually going to give you warmth and where the sun hits. So I don't always bronze, but most of the time I do. More so than I do with contour. But where's the sun hit you? The cheek, the nose, the forehead. And you can warm up those temples, because as we mature, we get a little sunken in on the temples. So I am very sunken in on my temple, so I will add it to my temple area. And you bronze as dark as you want it. So I can go crazy tropical and tan. This one is Bella. But that, again, personal preference. And tan lines, I would say, is more of a natural looking bronzer. Bella is intimidating looking, but you can totally blend it out. As you can tell, see, I'm tapping, I'm blending, I'm tapping, I'm blending, and I will continue to do that until I feel like it's blended out and it looks the way I want it. But again, that's where the sun hits us. The sun isn't hitting me way up here. The sun's hitting me here, it's hitting me there. So just think about that, that's all. And then blend it out. So you can see how that just added a little bit of warmth. Yeah, just nice and pretty. And then let's take a blush. So I'm going to take a very natural looking blush today. I'm going to use Lasagna, and I'm probably saying that completely wrong. I'm going to do that one. And I apply it to my cheekbone because I feel when you blush, right? The purpose of blush is where we blush on our cheeks. You know, when you maybe get embarrassed or whatever and you flush. Where do you flush? Is right here. I like it like that. This is where I like to apply it. It actually gives me a little bit more of a fuller cheek look, which is what I want. But you can also apply your blush way up there. So again, personal preference. I start here, and then I'll take the smaller end of this, which is the blush bronzer, and then I go, and then I bring up. I also bring my blush, I want you to see, I bring my blush up into my bag line because that helps mimic the bag too. So, and this blush color is a gloss, so it's going to give me a little bit more of a dewy, natural, minimalistic look. If I use a satin blush, that's going to have more pigment. This won't have as much pigment. This is just a very natural look. And it's all about blending. So you can see how it gives a little bit of a dewy look. If you don't like that crazy dewy look, you may not like a gloss blush. Let's see if I can find a more pigmented blush so you can see the difference of a satin. I'll use a little bit of plum with it. So this is a satin. So if I go like that, see, a little bit more pigmented. So if you want your blush to last longer too, you definitely are going to want a satin blush. But see, I sometimes like using the two together. But then when I really want that just really natural look, I'll just use just a gloss. And some of our glosses have more pigment than other ones, so remember that. Okay, the other question I get a lot too, does bronzer go first? Does bronzer go second? There is no difference. I could have done my contour, blush, then bronzed. I could have just done blush and then bronzed. So figure out what system works for you. That's what I say. A powder on those areas, whatever powder you like, just take, I like loose powders personally. And then I will go very lightly on that. I like my cheeks to be dewy, so I don't touch my cheeks, but very, very minimal. Especially don't want too much with mature skin because it will make it cakey. But see the difference what adding a powder does? It just helps with the pores, helps your face look a little bit more even. And then sometimes I'll put it on my lid prior to putting on any eyeshadow. One more thing I forgot is the Illuminator. That's like the biggest part, the Illuminator right there. And I go like this and then push it in, push it in. You don't want a line of the dewiness. The cream Illuminator is the most natural looking Illuminator that we have. If you want a more, one that stands out more, get the powder, but that's how I use my SEINT makeup. You can make your palette how you want it. And I'll even put this on my lips. So that's that. And I hope you guys all have a fabulous day.